Hello, welcome to today's assembly. Our theme for assemblies this week is about happiness. So it's a massive mental health link, all to do with the things that we can do to make ourselves happy and to help ourselves to be happy. So to do that, I'm recording this on Saturday, and there's a special reason for that, and I'm going to tell you about that. But it helps for me to record this from my garden. Now, I've shown you bits of my garden before. I'm going to show you of a look around my garden. Here's some bits where I've got plants that are growing. You can see my pond. See some bricks on the path because of the next bit of the project I'm doing. And I sat out in my garden this morning and I planted that plant into its pot that I bought from the shop yesterday. Mown the lawn. I've replanted one of the pond plants, which is looking really cool. I've watered some of the new things. I've watered the hanging baskets, and I've just kind of enjoyed things. I've made sure that my snail is okay. I made that out of a big breeze block, and I've just enjoyed the sunshine, enjoyed the colours. And I woke up this morning, and I felt, you know what, bit not sure about things, and I thought, what can I do to make myself feel happy? So I sat outside in the sunshine and I decided to take notice. So taking notice, looking at the things that are around you that are pretty cool in your life, is a really good thing to do. So I sat there and listed some of those things that I'm happy about and I love doing. So I'm going to give you an example. I love being with my family and friends. I've told you already, I've told you lots of times before actually, what's my favourite part of the day? Can you remember? That's right, my favourite part of the day is seeing you guys in the morning. It sets me up for the day in the right way. I love, I'm just sorting it out now, pouring my really nice cup of coffee and having a nice drink. I love being in my garden and seeing all the beautiful colours, seeing the wildlife. Here we go, let's have a slurp of coffee. In my R2-D2 mug. I watched the last episode of The Mandalorian this week and it was brilliant. Really enjoyed that too. I can see a massive bee just over there. And that's really cool as well because it means that we've got all this wildlife growing in the garden. So I'm taking notice of all of the things that are around me. And what I want you to do is I want you to see if you can list three things that you think are kind of pretty okay. Could be absolutely tiny things in your life. It could be that you made a really good Lego model this morning. It could be that mum gave you an extra special squeeze before you went off to school, or that you're going to have your favourite meal for tea tonight. Okay, so list your three things. Tell your partner. Pause your video. There we go. That's good. And it's nice to think about those three things. One of my favourite things at the moment is my pond. Even with my bedroom window closed, I can still hear the sound of the pond. Got the back of it. There we go. I can still hear that falling water. And I really love that. I really love the fact it's not very tidy. It's quite scruffy looking, so that means it's growing naturally. And I really like to take notice of the really small things, the small details. So, can you see these big pointy, kind of spiky grassy things? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's a favourite thing of mine at the moment. And I'm looking in detail at it because last year when I planted it, there was only one. It was in a pot. And the roots have spread underneath the surface of the water, and that's why I've now got 5 of these plants. I can't even remember what they are, so I'm going to wait to see if there's flowers on them or what happens. But I think that's really exciting that we've got something that's growing in here. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm taking notice of the really small details. Here's another one. I really like this one. This plant is called a hosta. And I don't know how well it's going to grow throughout the year because slugs like to eat this one. But I've got lots of these small shoots coming up out of the ground. They're tiny, but sometimes it's about taking notice of really small things, really small details, like on my plant here. That's a gorgeous flower, but there's only one. But I'm really optimistic, I'm really hopeful, because there's all of these little seed heads, flower buds, sorry. So it's going to grow, it's going to look amazing, and it helps me to feel better about things. I wonder if you've got something that is a really, really tiny detail to you that makes you feel really happy. What have you got in your life that is really small? So going to do something nice at the weekend, where you've been out for tea, or you've been out to the park and taken up half your weekend, or you've been and played with your football team that's taken up loads of time. That's a kind of a big deal. That's a big thing. It takes time and effort. But what is there that's really, really small, a really tiny thing that this could be something at home that you look at in the morning and think, you know what, that's quite cool. Or some flowers that you see on the way to school, or somebody that you wave to on the way. What have you got that is a really small detail that makes you happy? Okay, have a think. And share those ideas in your class. Well done. I hope there's lots. I hope that you're going to come and tell me throughout the day. I did this when I got home last night, and I wandered around the garden, and I tried to take notice of lots and lots of tiny details. So I saw that my ceanothus shrub is growing its lovely blue flowers. I saw that one of the flowers that I planted last year has grown even bigger, and I'm going to get lots and lots of lovely bright yellow flowers this year. I've got some seeds that I've sown that have started to shoot. So I've got lots of things, lots of tiny, tiny details that I'm really, really grateful for. And by noticing all of these small details, I can actually increase my good mood. Now, Mrs. Bates and I went on a really interesting course last week. We were teachers, and we got taught like pupils. So sometimes teachers go on courses, or they do Zoom meetings and stuff like that, where we learn new stuff. And we sit in like lessons, really. And we sat in this lesson. It was dead interesting. And we learned about things that make you feel good. And did you know that if somebody smiles at you, seeing that smile can actually raise your mood, can actually make you feel better? So smiling itself, making your muscles there, your smile muscles work, actually makes you feel better. But that smile helps other people to feel better as well. So give it a go. All right, let's sit there and smile at each other today. That's big beaming smiles. And actually, as you smile, it makes you feel good. And as you smile at someone else, seeing someone else's smile makes you feel good. And that's really important. So what I want you to try and do today is I want you to try and make other people feel good by smiling at them. See if you can do that. See if you can smile at... Oh, can you see that bee just in the air behind me? And I'm taking notice of the small things. Kind of look that way. It's buzzing around by my ear. Taking notice of the small things. See if you can make other people feel good as well. It's landed on my arm. Now, there's another thing I want to do. Now, the video that I'm making at the moment doesn't show the best bit of my garden behind me. It's the shed, and it's where I keep some spare wood for things that I'm making, and you can just see the frame for the hammock and the water butt. Get off, bee. But what I decided I'd do is I would start to make a bit of a list of things that make me happy. And I'm going to try and do this every day this week, and then on Friday I'm going to share these photos with you. So I'm going to make a kind of photo diary, and it's just one thing each day that makes me happy. So I told you last week that I've got my big bike ride. Now, when you watch this video, I'll have completed it, hopefully. But for me, it's tomorrow. So tomorrow's photo might be something from my big bike ride, or one of my big bike rides. Today's photo might be something from the garden. Might be something that I find in the garden that I'm really, really happy about. And I'm going to take a photo each day and see if I can notice some small things that make me happy. And what I'd like you guys to do is I'd like you to see if you can share these things in class. So I'm going to set you a bit of a challenge. Now you can do this at home. You could take your photos at home and you could put them in Google Classroom. Okay, but what I'd like you to do each day this week is I would like you to think of something really good, really positive each day as a class. Something that you think is really cool. Not a piece of work that you've done, but something that you can take a photo of in school that you think is really cool. It might be that you decide as a class, yes, Mrs. Hammond is really cool, we'll take a photo of her because she makes you happy. And that would be great. It might be something to do with, you could do a really cool lesson if you like. What I don't want to see is individual pieces of work, because I know you're all really hard working. But if everybody agrees, do you know what? We did that orienteering lesson and it was brilliant. Let's have a photo of that. And that could be it. So that we have photos over the course of the week that show the tiny, oh, that bee's on my head. The tiny, tiny details, the tiny things that make us happy in school. And you get to come up with what they are as a class. Okay, so by the end of the week, we can print these 5 photos out, put them by the side of your HeartSmart notice board, because it's a way of talking about our mental health and the things that make us feel good. There's your challenge. On Friday, I will show you what my photos are. I'll be doing 7, because I've got Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, so for now, what I'm going to do is I am going to, and zoom out, take notice of the things in my garden, the lovely flowers, the gorgeous sunshine, my freshly mown lawn. There we go. And I'm going to take notice of my really nice cup of coffee in my R2D2 mug. And I'm going to sit and have a lovely time. And I'm going to be present in this moment. So I'm going to think about where I am right now. Have a lovely day, guys. See you soon.